What's up, Loris Milan? A little different background tonight. I'm over at my family's house. I'm going to stay here for a little bit, but nonetheless, I wanted to make a video tonight. And in this video, we're going to talk about the question that you most likely get asked if you're interviewing for a job. And the question is, what are your salary expectations, right? Okay, let's dive into it. This question, it's not really what it sounds like. This question is designed to disqualify you. So any company will have an approved budget or approved salary for this particular role that you're interviewing for, right? It's usually a range, small, kind of narrow range, or sometimes a set number that it will. It's approved by the company budget for this role. You don't know this number, so they're basically asking you, "Hey, we're thinking about a number. Guess what it is?" Right? So if you answer wrong, and if you try to give a specific number, most likely you're kind of gambling and you don't know the exact number, you will answer wrong, then you're automatically disqualified, right? So how do you stay in the game? How do you answer this question without really answering it? Here's how you do it. There's two scenarios. The first scenario is when you're really confident about your qualification, you feel strong, so you have multiple offers, so you have kind of freedom of choice. You're not really desperate about getting this particular job or any job. You're more in the market, you have some wiggle room, you have some money saved up, so you can basically afford to really find the job that suits you, right? And the second scenario is you're desperate, you don't have any money, you lost your job, you don't have any income, you got bills to pay, so you're looking for any job, and that's okay. I've been in that situation too many times in the past where I needed any job. Just give me a job, I need to pay these bills. I'm not really looking to give you some fancy answers. I just need a job, basically, right? And that's okay. So if you're really desperate, you have a different strategy. So let's go to scenario number one. We have a little more like freedom and liberty and freedom of choice, and you have some money saved up, and you feel strong about your qualification. So they will ask you, what are your salary expectations? And the first answer, there's different answers throughout the process. The first answer you give them is, well, at this point, I will really need to know a little more details about this role before I can give you an accurate answer. Okay, write this down. Pause the video and play it several times until you memorize it. Okay, so this question basically is, with this question, you basically bounce the ball back to them. And in any negotiation, this is the golden rule. Whoever comes up with a price first will lose, meaning will lose the negotiation, right? So these skills will be helpful to you not only when you're getting a job, but when you're buying a car, when you're buying or selling anything. Remember, the person who comes up with the price first, that says the price first, will lose. So your job is really, if you feel confident, is to really have them give you an answer. And then you can always, accept or deny and kind of evaluate, right? So first answer again, I need to know a little more details about the job before I can give you an accurate answer. Now, most likely they will come back to you and say, well, do you have a range in mind, right? Give us a range, basically, right? Now, again, depending on how confident you are in this process, then you can say, well, there must be an approved budget, an approved salary. Can I know what it is? So you're basically asking them, well, you tell me what's the approved budget. And by saying the word approved budget or approved salary, you show them that you've done your homework, because that's a jargon that they use, recruiters use, and agencies use when they looking for a person, right? Looking for to hire somebody. If they bounce back to you and say, well, we kind of want to know how much money you're comfortable with, what are your career expectations, what are your services, I want to make sure you're a good fit for us, and we're a good fit for you. So kind of bouncing the ball back to you. Then again, you can at any point in this strategy, you can give them a wide range. By giving them a wide range, you basically are, kind of betting safe. You're doing a safe bet, because if you give them a wide range, let's say 60 to 120K, most likely this job, if you've done your research, like how much the range is in the market, this particular role, the budget that they have will fall into this wide range. But if you give them a small range, then it's more risky. So always give them a wide range, right? But my favorite strategy is to never give them even a range, right? Obviously, again, if you're looking for a job and if we're going to go into scenario 2, that's different. But if you feel confident by your strength, at any point that you don't feel confident anymore, just give them a wide range and see what they say. But if you feel super confident, don't even give them a range. And here's how you answer. Here's how you answer after they bounce the ball back to you for the second time. And it happened to me several times. And you say, well, I'm really interested. I don't like to price myself regardless of what the company thinks of me. I rather have the company evaluate my expertise and what I can bring to the table, and basically have them tell me what they think I'm worth for this particular role. So you see how politely you basically say, hey, it's not my job to say, I want this, I want that. It's up to you to tell me how much do you think I'm worth for this particular role, So you basically nicely say to them that it's their job to price you, and you basically don't answer the question and bounce the ball back to them to answer the question. Now, I've done this a number of times, and sometimes it comes up to like 4 to 5 times back and forth. Now, my favorite is to never give them a range until they say, well, I think for this role, we're willing to pay up to 120K. Now you have a number, right? If they say that to you, say their maximum is 120K, obviously your job is to shoot for that, or shoot within their range. But now they're giving you a number. Now you won, because now you know where they stand. They cannot disqualify you based on salary requirements. That's crucial, right? Now, scenario 2 is when you don't have a job, you haven't had a job in a while, you're desperate to pay bills. And again, nothing wrong with it, no judgment. I've been there many times in my life in the past, a lot. So I totally understand your situation if you're in that. No worries. If you're in that situation, obviously you want to get the job regardless. Obviously, the pay has to be reasonable, but you're not really interested you don't want to shoot for a star necessarily. You just want a job and some money coming in. So if they ask you, what are your salary expectations? Give them a wide range right away. Well, I think for this position, I'm open to anywhere between 60 and 120K. By using the word open, you obviously show that you're open. You give them a wide range so you don't price yourself too low or too high. And it's a safe bet because most likely that budget will fall into the range if you've done your homework for how much that position pays usually, right? In your geo area, in your market. So you see how, depending on the level of confidence that you have and how desperate you are, you can give the job interview in different answers. But the point of this video is never give them an exact number, because that question, that I ask you, what are your salary expectations, is really designed to disqualify you. So keep that in mind. Try to avoid answering the question. Bounce it back to them. Say that you don't know, it's too early in the interview process. If they bounce back to you, you say, I'm really interested in what the approved salary or the approved range is. Can I know what it is? If they bounce back to you, give them a wide range, right? And, if you feel really confident, you can use, the advanced, super advanced answer that I say, well, I really don't like to price myself regardless on what the company thinks I'm worth. I'm rather more interested in knowing, in finding out later what the company thinks I'm worth for this particular role and what I can bring to the table. Okay, so you see that's professional, polite. You give the ball, shoot the ball back to them without, kind of sounding too that you don't know what you're doing, basically. So I hope these tips were helpful. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.